Hello and welcome to another Intro to Programming and Database tutorial. We are going over assignment number 6, assignment for chapter number 6 right now. And we just got done with part A, which was pretty much about pseudocode writing, about some of the problems that I gave you. Now we are going to be looking at part B, which is an application of the pseudocode that we wrote in part A, which is to print the first 20 multiples of 5, and that's why I just simply copy pasted in this console application the pseudocode that I wrote with you. And this is the for loop version of it because this is the shortest of all, so I prefer to use for loop whenever we talk about count control loop. It's a good choice. Now we're going to be looking at how we can convert this code right into Microsoft Visual Basic .NET. Now, as we know that dims generally get converted into, the declares generally get converted into dims, and since both variables counter and number are of the same data type, we can very well write something like this: dim counter comma num as integer. So this will going to declare both variables. Now we can declare, after declaring, we can assign num a value of 5, which is equivalent to the statement up here, num equals 5. Now we're going to be writing the loop, and in VB, this is one of the good things in VB is that the counter does not even has to be declared ahead of time. You could very well declare it right within the for loop, but I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to first of all get rid of counter from here. I'm going to just come down here and say, okay, for counter as integer equals to 1 to 20. So the variable that is used for the counter does not even have to be declared ahead of time. So the only variable I am needing to declare ahead of time is number. Now all I need to do within the loop is pretty much display the product of number and counter, which is done with the help of system.console.write if I want to display them in the same line, or write line if I want to display them on different lines. So I have both choices. I'm going to show you how both outputs are going to look like. So for now I'm using write line, so it's going to be displayed in vertical order. So we're going to be using over here the formula of num times the counter. These are the two variables. Now this is a conversion of the pseudocode into an equivalent VB code. Now let's try to run this. I'll use Control F5, and here you can see the output of the code is 5, 10, 15, to all the way down to the 100. That's exactly how I wanted you to display, and this is pretty much what displays as an output. Now if you want to really resemble the code that I wrote, which is with commas, then you can actually use write, and after you perform this calculation you can concatenate it with a comma and a space, just like this. And then when you try to run it, it's going to display on one line with commas placed right next to each other, and here the code goes. However, there's one problem here, and that there is a comma after 100, and this is extra things. You don't have to do all this. I'm just showing you that how logic can be applied in different ways. The first output is also perfectly fine. Now I do not want to display the comma for my 20th entry. So what I can do is, we are going to write an if condition. That means as long as the value of counter is not equals to 0, not equals to 20, then keep displaying the output with a comma after every number, a comma and a space. Otherwise, what you should do is display the same output, but don't display a comma. Now, we're going to be running this one for now, and I'm going to be sharing with you one more modification. So here you can see that everything gets to display with the comma except for 100. There is no comma after 100. But press any key to continue appears to be on the same line as 100. To avoid that situation, I'm going to change this to write line. So the last time it prints, it forces press any key to continue to be pushed to the next line. And now when we run it, we pretty much can get to see that output. And as far as the turning in of this assignment is concerned, I asked you that I only need the screenshot of the code and the sample output. So, for example, if you're running it and you have Control F5 and here's your output and here's your code. This is the complete code. If I minimize this down, you can actually get to see a little bit of more code. And let me get rid of the pseudocode because that's not needed to be displayed along with it. And here you can very easily see the entire code, and here is the output of the code, and I have basically both windows in front of me. So you could be using any of the snipping tool, or if you're using Windows, you can do print screen, alt print screen, and then take a snapshot of this. So one of the ways is that on the keyboard you can hit print screen button. Now I'm going to take a snapshot of your current window, and then you can bring that snapshot in a Word document or in a PowerPoint, or you can save it as an image. So either way you can turn it in. So that's basically how I want you to be turning in your assignment. For example, if I hit print screen, I have this utility installed which helped me select the area that I want to take the print screen for. So I can simply select the area, and then I can crop it, or I can save it, or I can copy the area that I have selected. The utility that I'm using is called Lightshot. So it's a freeware. I installed it. Every time I hit print screen, it lets me take a snapshot by dragging and dropping, and I've copied it. And now if I open Microsoft Word, as Microsoft Word comes in, I pick blank document, and I can simply paste by clicking the paste button or using a Control V as a shortcut. And here you can see that I have the code alongside the output. I could save this Word document and I could upload it. So all of these options are available to you if you want to take a snapshot and then save it as an image right from here. So I can actually save it as an image. So I can hit Control S and actually save it as an image and then take it outside. So you can turn it in however you want to turn in the assignment. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this particular assignment. Hope you would have enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching.